Well, good morning, everyone. Here we are on June the 6th, and I'm in a hurry as I'm a little behind trying to rush out to meet with some pastors this morning. And looking forward to a wonderful day, carrying the presence of the Lord wherever we go, right? So He impacts whoever we encounter. That's our life. And we continue to read through Proverbs, and we're reading some of Solomon's Proverbs. The first bit of Proverbs is all about the importance of wisdom, gaining wisdom. And we have to understand that there is a wisdom of experience, but the real wisdom we want is sourced in Jesus Christ, and it's a wisdom that is given to us. And James tells us if we don't have, ask for it, and it'll be given to us. The main themes, there's contrasts that Solomon is having here. He contrasts it between the lazy and the hardworking, between the wicked and the righteousness. He's talking about here, and I just want to touch on. There's others there as well, but just want to touch on the whole thing about the lazy and the hard worker. And this is something I've talked about before and have pointed out before, that the Lord doesn't promise that He's just going to dump things on us. What He promised is that He would bless hard work. He would bless the work. What He told the Israelites is that He would bless the work of their hands. What He said is when they plant crops, they would end up producing more than what is natural for them to produce. But they still had to plant the crops. They still had to work. They still had to plant the orchards, and the orchards would produce in abundance, but they still had to plant the orchards. They still had to look after livestock, but the livestock would produce more than what would be natural for it to produce. So he promises to bless the work of our hands. And the reason for this is that our dad isn't interested in raising lazy kids. He's under the new covenant, he's partnered with us in the mission that there is, to have as many people saved as possible. I heard a pastor yesterday refer to the converted and the pre-converted, or something of the sorts like that. The Christians and the pre-Christians. We should have in mind that everybody in the world, that our Father intends for them to be saved. So if they're not a brother and sister, they are a potential brother and sister. And so this is what we're looking at here. So it's the whole thing to understand here is He is not producing lazy children. He is producing those who know what it means to work hard. It doesn't mean to overwork, because rest is a big thing in this. It's to work the amount that we're supposed to work. Plant the crops, plant the orchards, and He will bless an abundance beyond our work. He will multiply that work. That's the whole idea. And the wicked and the righteous. Well, we know under the new covenant that Jesus Christ has made us righteous according to the relationship. We have a proper relationship. We could not enter into a right relationship with Father before, and now we can. We can have this right relationship. But we've also been called to walk in righteousness, and that walk of righteousness is doing what pleases God, doing it His way, not our way, not what we think is best, but what He's told us to do. And that involves the commandments. And in that we need to know the Word. We need to know the Word so we know what actions please Father. Generosity is a big thing there. It talks about the righteous are generous. They're generous. They're kind, they're compassionate, merciful. These mark the righteous compared to the wicked. And without Christ, our heart tends towards wickedness. and selfishness, self-centeredness, laziness. That's all part of that wickedness. And evil and wickedness are things that I don't want to say they have the wrong connotation, but when we talk about it, it's how can I even put this? Um, to have a wicked heart does not mean that you intentionally do wrong, but it is more natural for you to do. And wrong, see here, some people would see certain actions as not being wrong. We have to define wrong as being those things that do not please God. That's wrong. Wicked action are those actions that do not conform to who our God is. Does not line up with the Father's heart. So you can be a perfectly good person and still be wicked, still have evil actions because they don't line up with Father, and they could be perfectly acceptable in this world, in our culture, the world's culture. Um, and you could be considered a hero according to this world, but it doesn't line up with Father, and there's prosperity in walking in righteousness. He prospers us. He prospers our heart. We're filled with peace and with joy. The prosperity is more than money. Money is just a tool. Prosperity has to do with our relationships. Prosperity has to do with our health, our worth, our mental state. We prosper. So these are things that are pointed out here. Some contrasts, and I think we have to have a greater conversation with those who are without Christ, a conversation that comes without condemnation. A conversation that maybe we need to find new vocabulary because wicked and evil kind of might, we we need to find a way to be able to express to them that they could have a perfectly good life here in this world. But there's more to it, that they could have more, that there's more peace and there's more joy and there's more satisfaction and there's more found in Jesus Christ. And Father wants them to have more. He wants them to prosper. He wants them to do well. He wants them healthy. He wants them. This is his desire for them. He wants them to maximize their full capacity. And that is done through Jesus Christ. It's done through the relationship with the Father. It's he who blesses us. He's the root of all good things. He's the source of all good things. And that's just for today. And I need to get off. I have to go walk a dog and go have breakfast with some pastors. So you be blessed in your day today. Open yourself up to be aware of his presence so that you can carry his presence, because his presence brings miracles. His presence changes atmospheres. His presence changes lives. It's his presence that attracts people to him, and that's what we want. We want to be attractive. In the kingdom of God, we want to be attractive. We're not there to call out the rocks in people's lives. We're there to point out the gold that God has put there. God takes care of the rocks. We're there to point out the gold. So you be blessed, be encouraged, and be filled today. God bless.